a new diplomatic effort by the Trump administration to secure a ceasefire update in Gaza. This Monday, the American envoy, Jared Kushner, is due to meet Benjamin Netanyahu a day after Kushner held rare talks with Hamas leaders in Cairo. Now, little publicly came out after that meeting, but Hamas has already endorsed Trump's 15-point plan for Gaza, while Netanyahu, who is seeking re-election as Israel's prime minister, is currently refusing to get on board with that plan. Well, let's talk about this with Philip Turle, our foreign editor, who's with me. Philip, what do you think the chances are of any kind of breakthrough in the discussion today between Kushner and Netanyahu?
I think it all depends on what proposition Jared Kushner puts forward for the Israeli Prime Minister, because he faces elections coming up on the 27th of October, which are going to be pretty difficult for Benjamin Netanyahu, whose party Likud is trailing in the polls, estimated to have between 25 and 27 seats in Parliament, down from 32 in 2022. So he really desperately wants to remain Prime Minister and to show up support from his far-right parties to remain in power. That's why we've seen this shift away from this effort by Donald Trump to try to make some kind of breakthrough in the Gaza conflict with this 15-point peace plan, this roadmap to peace put forward by the US government, which of course has been rejected last week by Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu saying that he will never accept the creation of a Palestinian state, and basically saying that the other point in this roadmap that he cannot accept is that all of the weapons that Hamas possess right now will have to be destroyed completely before there is any prospect of Israel coming on board. I think the feeling in the United States is that they're going to give Benjamin Netanyahu a little leeway, a bit of ground that he can try to bring on board the far right, because they've said they will not agree to this peace deal in a bid to try to remain in power. But I think there's definitely a feeling of frustration, and certainly on the part of the Palestinians and the part of Hamas. Hamas, remember, that was ready to accept this peace deal straight away. Many in Israel, in the government, are saying, well, Hamas only agreed to this peace plan because they knew that the Israeli government was going to turn it down. But I think that Jared Kushner is going to be putting pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu to come up with some kind of compromise deal in those talks that are due to take place today.
OK, well, you're talking of a possible compromise. There have been, though, these reports that Trump potentially is willing to give Netanyahu a little bit of leeway because of that election coming up in October. How seriously do you think we should take these reports? I
think quite seriously, because it's up to a point, because Benjamin Netanyahu obviously does want to win these elections, so he can't go right into the hands of this peace deal and say we're going to give Hamas everything that it wants, that this peace deal proposes, because he will certainly find that will be rejected by his far-right coalition members, and his government would collapse as a result of that. But on the United States side, Donald Trump is also under pressure because he has the midterm elections coming up in November, and he needs to come back and say, yes, we have got this deal over the line, and yes, Israel has agreed to it, and yes, there is going to be a reconstruction program in Gaza and possibly the creation of a Palestinian state. That is something that Donald Trump would really like to be able to bring home in a bid to increase his chances of doing better in the midterm elections in November. So there is, I think, pressure between those two leaders, Donald Trump on one side, Benjamin Netanyahu on the other, to try to work out some kind of compromise deal. But at the same time, the two men are quite far apart in what they want, because Benjamin Netanyahu needs to show up support at home, so does Donald Trump back in the United States. But those support groups are on opposite ends of the spectrum. So it's difficult to see how this meeting today with Jared Kushner, which is also being attended by the former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, is going to bridge that gap. Let's say it's a first meeting, maybe in the right direction, but we're still not out of the woods yet.